Hey guys, Andy here, and today we are going to be talking horror. Again, we are doing Leatherface 2017. That's going to be today's topic. But before we get into it, as always, if you wanted to see this look in action, I did it over on my TikTok first. That's where they get all the content first. So if you're wanting to see things more in real time, head over there. It'll be in the description. As well as if you just want to know the products that are on my face, they'll be in the description down below as well. And I believe that's everything I gotta say at you right now. So let's just get into it. So again, this is Leatherface 2017. It has an IMDb rating of 5.0 out of 10. And the storyline goes: a violent teen and three others kidnap a young nurse while escaping from a Texas mental institution. Pursued by a vengeful sheriff, the disturbed young man embarks on a murderous rampage that shapes him into a legendary killer known as Leatherface. I don't like the storyline for this movie. It feels like a one-off. It feels like a spin-off is the word I was looking for. Like, it just doesn't feel like a Leatherface movie. Um, if they would have portrayed this as just like another slasher horror film, because this is a pretty gory movie. It has 21 kills. So it's up there. But if they would have portrayed it as a different movie, I think I would have enjoyed it better. But knowing that it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, I did not like it. Like, this movie for me gets a 1 out of 5 stars. We have some trivia. The Sawyer house scene in the 1974 original film was rebuilt for this film, which I think is very interesting. I wish the movie had been better to rebuild that house, but because that house is iconic, obviously. But this is Tobe Hooper's final film as producer before his death from natural causes on August 26th, 2017. Which, that's sad, he did a good job producing it. That's not what I'm annoyed about. So it is sad. And then we have, chronologically, this film takes place before the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre of 1974 and is then followed by Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is the one that we just covered, in Gate's continuity of the series. So in their timeline, it goes this movie, Leatherface, then the original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then Texas Chainsaw 3D. That's their timeline. Which, like, when you look at it that way, it makes this movie, the storyline, a little better, but I still don't like it, personally. This is my least favorite of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Spoiler alert, because I'm going to be doing a ranking next week, once we finish, which we've only got one more to do, so. But spoiler alert, this is my least favorite movie. Time to get in to the kill count. And like I said, this is a high one. So, we have unnamed poacher, bashed on the head by Grandpa with a hammer, while injured from being slashed in the leg by Jedediah and Drayton with a chainsaw. Betty Hartman, after being lured into a trap by Jedediah and fell through a floor, was crushed by an engine released by Nubbins. That sounds awful, to be crushed to death, because you can't tell me that you don't feel at least a little bit of that, like, prior. That's that. Yeah. We have unnamed nurse, bashed on a table by Verna. Apparently this is a debatable kill. And throughout the continuity of this series, there's a couple kills that are more speculated. What you see of them would suggest that they died from what happened. So that's, again, any debatable kill, take it as you will. I'm not here to say it did or didn't happen. I'm just, according to the producer and the writers of the movies, these are the facts. We have unnamed orderly number 1, who was beaten to death by Bud. Unnamed female patient, strangled by Clarice with her own hair. Oh, don't have hair, so that will never happen. Because I don't plan on growing it out any longer than I do. Because that sounds terrifying. We have Dr. Lang, who was bashed on a window repeatedly by Bud. Which, that's a bit gruesome. Like I said, this is a very gory movie, which I like, because not everyone's into gore when they're into horror movies. I am, though. Like, I don't have to have gore, but if you're gonna do it, do it. And this one does, but we have unnamed nurse who was stabbed in the mouth by an unknown patient. We have unknown patient who was stomped in the head repeatedly by Jedediah. Unnamed orderly who was pushed through a window by an unknown patient while tied to a wheelchair. Unnamed diner customer was stabbed in the neck by Clarice. And we have another unnamed diner customer who was shot in the face by Clarice. Every time I hear the name Clarice, I just think of Silence of the Lambs. Which is a me problem. Which, if you'd like to see, you know, like I said in every one of these videos, if you have any horror movie recommendations, and they don't have to just be horror or gore, thriller, psychological movies, anything like that, paranormal, any kind of spooky movie that you want to see me cover, leave it in the comments. Because if I have not seen it, I will gladly have an excuse to watch more spooky movies. We have the diner chef who was shot in the face by Clarice. We have Tammy, who was shot in the face by Ike. Isaac, who is Ike, face was crushed by a rock by Bud while injured from being hit over the head with a log. That doesn't even sound like it belongs in this movie. Clarice was shot in the head by Texas Ranger Hartman, which deserved. Bud was shot in the head by a deputy. Unnamed deputy, car door slammed on his head repeatedly by Jedediah. Again, that sounds horrendous. Because, like, I don't know. It's not an immediate death, so, like, how much of that do you feel? You know? Sound off if you're in the medical field and, like, let me know. Like, even if it's just a split second, like, that sounds horrifying to me. Deputy Sorrells fed alive to the pigs by Drayton and Nubbins. Also sounds horrible. Texas Ranger Hal Hartman sliced open by Jedediah with a chainsaw. His remains were later ground up and fed to the pigs. Nurse Elizabeth, Lizzie White, decapitated by Jedediah with a chainsaw while her foot was caught in a bear trap. Her remains were later ground up and fed to the pigs, and the skin on her face was then cut off by Jedediah for his first Leatherface mask, which I do love that, because again, if you watched any of my previous videos, the use of seeing the skin as a mask and things like that is one of my favorite parts of these movies, because they don't all do it, and they don't all do it justice. But yeah, that is everybody. This is a shorter video. It had a shorter storyline. It had shorter trivia. It's a shorter movie in general. So, again, I give it a 1 out of 5. Sorry, not sorry. If you disagree, sound off in the comments and let me know why you like the movie better. Because I would always love to know. We can give this one a little yellow star. 1 star. And next, we're covering the brand new Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. If you did not know about it, because I did not know about it, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's the only little spoiler you're getting for the next video is go watch it. But that'll do it for me, guys. And as always, I will see you in the next one.